Have you ever compared yourself to a friend? If so, how did that make you feel? And did it affect your relationship with them? Comparing yourself to others is typical, especially as you grow older. I remember being in middle school and comparing myself to the most popular girl in school. Our looks, clothes, number of friends we have, the list went on. I can honestly say that being in constant competition with someone over things you have zero control over is exhausting, and it made me feel terrible about myself. Social comparison is a form of psychological self-esteem where we derive our sense of self by comparing ourselves with those in our friend group or with those who we share similarities with. Social comparison can be broken up into two types: upward social comparison and downward social comparison. First, we will talk about upward social comparison, which is when you compare yourself with someone who is perceived to be higher in status or higher performing. An example of this it would be comparing your body to the body of the most popular girl in your school. The first pro of upward comparison is that it instills a sense of competitiveness since it forces us to push ourselves to limits we didn't know existed. It gives us a sense of direction by exposing us to a recipe for success that we can draw influence from. And it finally gives us a target goal because when you see the great success an individual has achieved, it gives you a similar goal to work towards. However, a con is that comparison could lead to discouragement because if a peer with the same background as you achieves something far from what you feel like you're capable of, you might feel discouraged. The other type of social comparison is downward social comparison, which is when you compare yourself to someone perceived to be worse off or lower in status than you. An example of this comparison would be feeling better about your B+ because all of your friends got C's and D's on their test. Downward social comparison can have positive effects such as increasing self-esteem since it allows you to feel better about yourself by comparing yourself to people of lower skill level. There are some cons to downward social comparison, as well as short-term satisfaction because the self-esteem boost is only a short-term fix to the confidence issues that caused you to compare yourself to someone of lower status in the first place. Another con to downward social comparison is a decrease in motivation because when you compare yourself to others you believe are of lower status, you may hinder your ability to reach your full potential. I'm guessing that most of you guys have some type of social media app on your phone right now, and even if you don't, I'm sure you guys know how they work. What you guys don't realize is that social media is structured to facilitate social comparison. The quantifiability aspect of it causes you to compare your number of followers and likes with that of your peers. This may cause you to feel like the more unpopular or ugly person in the friend group. In addition to this, people only display the best versions of themselves on social media. Because of this, you may feel like you've lived an inferior lifestyle compared to them. This can be detrimental to your mental health, and it is important to realize that the image everyone puts out is filtered from reality. The last aspect is the availability aspect, and comparing yourself to someone in the media can be done at any time of the day because social media is always available with phones and the internet. This graph shows the correlation between depression-based symptoms and technology-based social comparison. You can see when there is an increase in social comparison, depression symptoms also increase. It is also worth noting that females have a higher rate of depression than males with the same amount of social comparison. My biggest piece of advice for you guys is to learn to be comfortable in your own skin. I know this sounds cliche, but no one's perfect, even if they make it seem that way on social media or in real life. Just realize that you are enough and that it isn't worth jeopardizing friendships or your mental health for. We would like to thank you for your time, and we hope that you will be able to take what we talked about in this presentation and apply it to your everyday life.